Hey guys, Sean Bougie here. On the way to the office Tuesday morning. There's a couple things that I'm hearing lately that are bothering me, and it's actually becoming kind of apparent that you're learning these things from so-called gurus out there with overages. Now, we've been doing this a long time, almost 20 years, and this is the kind of stuff when I hear it coming out of somebody's mouth, I go, "Oh my God, please stop listening to whoever the heck you're listening to, telling you that." Okay. And there's a couple things that you need to be concerned about. By the way, check us out, surplusfundsriches.net, surplusfundsriches.net. Click on products, check us out, watch the video on the first page. You'll get a really good in-depth idea of exactly, in the bottom of the products page, is actually an outline how we do overages. In addition to that, we've got different products on there you can check out. But here's what I'm hearing. First of all, they'll say, well, I can't get a mortgage overage list. However, I know that the minimum bid was 80 and it sold for 120, so there's a $40,000 overage. No. Let me tell you the problem with that. Not all banks, or all counties, all banks in all counties, I should say, not all of them start that bid at what's owed. Get that into your head. I'm getting this a lot. Minimum bid was 80. That must have been what was owed against it. Sold for 120. There's a $40,000 overage. No. In some instances, the banks will literally start in a mortgage overage. They will start the minimum bid at less than what is owed against the property, or they'll start it at what was owed, but not including attorney fees and that type of thing. The reason is they know that the auction is going to they're creating interest. It's going to get these guys started, and they're not going to be able to stop. It's going to snowball, and they're going to keep bidding against each other. So they're starting under what's owed. So there may be $120,000 in debt against it. In addition to the fact that there may be additional debt. And guys, I've said this 400 times on my videos. If Bank of America is foreclosing for 80 grand, let's say, and let's say that's what they were owed, and it sells for 120, is there an overage? Now, those of you guys out there that said, yeah, listen to me. Is there an overage due to the owner? What do you mean? Well, is there a second mortgage? Is there a HELOC, an equity line? Is there an IRS tax? Is there something else against the property of the person recorded in that same county as where the house got foreclosed? Is there something else that could be entitled to the money? And people tell me, nah, Sean, they get kicked out. No. Mortgages, other additional mortgages, equity lines, that type of thing, they're no longer attached to the property. The foreclosure kicked that out. That doesn't mean it's not debt. Look up deficiency judgment on Google. You'll see that even after foreclosures, debt survives because there's a promissory note associated with it. That promissory note entitles the creditor to money from the person, the debtor. So that is a priority claim. If you don't check that debt has a priority claim to the money, not the owner. You're going to be going after money you cannot have. And here's another thing I hear. Well, we'll just take it to court, and if the creditor doesn't show up, then they lose. No! If the creditors owed the money, the county's not going to pay it to you because you decided to show and they didn't. They're going to say, look, it's not your money. It's not your money. Do you understand me? Come on, guys. I get it. When we first started, early 2000s, 2003 maybe, when we first started, we went down every one of these rabbit holes. Every one of them. I get where you're coming from. You're trying to put a deal together. You keep trying to put it together. Well, this bank went out of business, so they're not entitled to the money. No, the government abhors a vacuum. If there was debt, it was sold even at a ridiculously reduced rate to somebody else. Now, they may not be able to prove who the hell has it now, and it might not be recorded as assigned to somebody else. But the bottom line is, until you can figure out who owns that and somebody responds, the debt's the debt. You can't just get rid of the debt because you want to, or you think that this is justice and this is what should happen. That doesn't matter. Bottom line is, that was the debt in place at the time of the sale? Was it in place? Because if it was, that has a priority claim to the overage. Now, having said that, IRS tax liens, yes, they count, but let's say IRS tax liens, state income tax liens, credit card judgments, all these different things. Let's say you're in a state where there's a 10-year expiration period on that. Now, some states go as high as 20, but let's say it's a 10-year expiration date. And let's say that judgment came in at 2011, July 11th, 2011. That's when the clock date was on that judgment. If that hit at that point, and you're going after it right now, and I'm recording this in July, and you make a claim July 12th, and there was a 10-year expiration on that, right? 2011, 2021, 10 years, you can get the money. You can get the money. The judgment expired. Same thing with IRS tax liens, although some counties are rough about that. What I would factor in with IRS tax liens, listen to me carefully, is 4 months. In other words, if it expired, this is for overages, not for deed flips. If it expires July 11th, right? It was 2011, July 11th, and now it's 2021. I'd go 120 days past that. Okay, check your calendar year on that. But August, September, October, November, I wouldn't make the claim till November, because some counties give, depending on the county and the state, they give IRS tax liens additional time, 3 to 4 months. And just so we're clear, the IRS is the only creditor, by the way, that can kind of get a pseudo, they'll say it expires in 10 years, okay? But the IRS can come in at 2015 and say, hey, this guy did not pay his taxes for first quarter of 2013. So we're putting this against him right now in 2015. Now, any other creditor, right, would be looking at the date that the judgment was incurred. IRS gets a pass on that, and it starts when they record that and go forward. Now, recording starts for everybody, but judgments and creditors usually have a time period where they have to make that recording and have it work. Or courts will actually sometimes say, wait a minute, this is a judgment from 2 years ago, and you've been actively pursuing them, but yet you don't have a judgment against them. We're going to start the clock at that date. So you got to be careful of the states, okay? So the main thing, one of the things was the mortgage. I know I'm going down a rabbit hole here with additional debt. Let's talk about taxes. Here's the other thing I'm seeing with taxes, with overages. People are saying, hey, what if I just get a hold of the owner and $5,000's the minimum bid, and I pay him $500 for their property right before the foreclosure, and I don't pay off the debt, the $5,000, I don't stop the foreclosure, I'm just going after the overage. Well, there's 3 problems with that, okay? First of all, you're not checking other debt. If there is additional debt, that's going to have a priority claim in front of you. Can't make that point enough. In addition to that, you've got $500 into this to buy it, and you don't know if it's going to sell or not. You guys aren't checking it. When I do a deed flip, when I go after property pre-tax sale, I'm sending someone out that I can trust, a realtor or a mobile notary, somebody, to get pictures of that property so I know what I'm dealing with. You guys could be buying something that is in such horrendous shape, okay, that it's literally not going to sell for any more than the minimum bid. So you just lost your money. You're done. The third part of that is counties and states don't take well to that. If that's your actual plan of action and you're doing that, yes, if you did that enough, you could probably be in the black. But if you're doing that consistently, basically you're doing fraud, because I know darn well, and you know darn well, you're not telling them what your play is. Because if you did, if you said, I'm going to give you $500 and hope and pray that I can make, that it's going to sell for more money than what's owed against it, they're going to go, well then I'm not going to sell it to you, and I'm going to get that overage. More money that's, when it sells for more money. So I know darn well you're not disclosing what you're trying to do. Okay, so with mortgage overages, be careful of that minimum bid. It might not be what's actually owed. And of course, do your research on debt. Taxes, of course, do your research on debt. Do not try that play, guys. Trust me. Do not try that play where you're trying to buy the deed from them and record the deed and then let it go to foreclosure and you're done. In addition, there are some states, Florida in particular, where it's not the last deed holder, it's the person that had the list pendants against them in the mortgage, at least the mortgage side. So if you were trying to buy property pre-mortgage foreclosure and and it goes to foreclosure, and you got a quitclaim being recorded a week beforehand in Florida, they're still going to pay the person that had the list pendants against them, not, which is the judgment for foreclosure, not the deed holder. So, guys, regardless of what you do, get somebody's program that knows what the hell they're talking about, and people that can give you direction and include support in the program like we do. I think it's a safer bet to go with us, simply because we're partnering with you, so we have a vested interest, obviously, in putting the deal together on overages. I hope this has helped. Check us out, surplusfundsriches.net. Go to that, go to the products page on that, click on products. You'll have to enter your name and email, but drop you on the products page, read the insider's guide at the bottom of that page, and look through the programs and the products. If you still have questions, give me a call. 704, this is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, or Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. 704-791-9398. Thanks.